a grown woman who named herself Whoopi should refrain from mocking a 4-year-old for the name his parents gave him.
Richard Grinnell slammed the decision. He says the pair orchestrated a publicity stunt and do not want Republican Party voters attending their show.
A number of stars have distanced themselves from the venue after Trump became chair. Now Whoopi Goldberg is joining the fray.
Who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president.
He took little X.
Funny. A little Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram.
He doesn't own Instagram.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
I don't know what else to say, but it is, and I'm just looking at this video and it's so bizarre.
This isn't just some behind-the-scenes gossip. The View has officially hit rock bottom, and it's uglier, messier, and way more chaotic than anyone ever expected. After years of fiery arguments, harsh clapbacks, and lawsuit threats floating through the air like smoke before a fire, the storm has finally broken loose. And it's pouring lawsuits like a legal hurricane. This isn't about 1 or 2 people getting offended. Over 30 defamation lawsuits have been filed. Yes, over 30. And these aren't your usual say sorry and move on type of issues. These are massive legal punches, stacked taller than Whoopi's movie credits and 1,000 times more dangerous than one of Joy Bihar's infamous side eyes.
Possible.
I think Elon Musk believes he's president.
He's planning the presidency when he's going to get rid of Trump.
Hey, you know who? Stay away from the stairways. Okay, I need to clean something up because my cat lays in wait for me on my stairs
Yes.
all the time.
And
that's what I was thinking of that. I wasn't trying to indicate that they were actually standing there with their legs out, hoping he would trip.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But when you have deliberate, concerted, repeated pushing of hoaxes, you're like, wait a second, like, come on, man, this is.
The drama is spiraling so far out of control that even ABC, the network that stood by them through every hot take, is now trying to quietly slip away like it never happened. Whoopi Goldberg is now facing allegations so serious they could leave a permanent scar on her legacy. And Joy Bihar? She's knee-deep in legal nightmares, with whispers swirling that even her own legal team is starting to panic. Meanwhile, insiders are claiming Sunny Hostin is barely holding on, constantly stressed and emotionally drained behind the scenes. One person even said she's running on fumes and prayer. That's how bad it's gotten. This isn't just a talk show anymore. It's a full-blown scandal exploding across daytime television.
All the sort of federal money going to media companies is what helps explain why the legacy media all says the same thing at the same time.
Has allowed all kinds of people to come on, people we agree with, people we don't agree with. I've not been a fan of this man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks to the nation.
The cast doesn't even look like co-hosts anymore. They look like they just crawled off the stage of a chaotic reality show reunion. And not in a good way. And the people coming after them? This is where things go nuclear. We're talking Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, and yes, Carrie Underwood. Not some anonymous trolls. We're talking global icons, billionaires, celebrities, and political firebrands coming together, all reportedly united by one goal, to bring The View crashing to its knees. They're claiming they've been misrepresented, slandered, and dragged by the hosts, not just once, but repeatedly. On live TV, behind the scenes, and even in off-the-cuff interviews. And now, they've had enough. This is no longer entertainment. It's turning into a battlefield.
I saw you on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies-infested hen.
And guess what? The chaos is so intense that ABC is seriously considering cutting the cord completely. Suspension isn't just a rumor anymore. It's on the table. Top-level executives are said to be in full-blown panic mode, scrambling behind the scenes while advertisers are pulling their money like it's toxic waste. In fact, some big-name sponsors reportedly backed out within hours of hearing who filed the latest lawsuit. One media analyst didn't hold back, saying, "If you average out the View hosts, you're looking at some of the least careful mouths on television." And another insider followed that up with, "They say what people are thinking, but they say it raw, unfiltered, and with zero legal safety net." So the million-dollar question is, what was the final straw? What set off this avalanche of lawsuits all at once? What triggered this explosion that scared billion-dollar sponsors into fleeing like rats off a sinking ship? Buckle up, because this scandal is just getting started and it's about to get way more explosive. Let's rewind the tape for a second.
Has allowed all kinds of people to come on, people we agree with, people we don't agree with. I've not been a fan of this man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks to the nation.
All the sort of federal money going to media companies is what helps explain why the legacy media all says the same thing at the same time.
The women of The View have always thrived on controversy. No filter, no fear, just raw opinions flung across the table like dodgeballs in a school gym. From screaming matches on air to throwing out serious accusations without batting an eye.
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
They've danced right on the edge of defamation more times than anyone can count. But somehow, they always walked away untouched, cushioned by big money contracts, powerful lawyers, and a network willing to look the other way. But guess what? That safety net? It's gone, snapped like a twig, and now it's free fall. Let's start with Whoopi Goldberg. Once considered a Hollywood legend, now she's smack in the middle of a public relations firestorm. It all started when she took aim at none other than Elon Musk, live on TV, and held nothing back. She mocked his child's name, questioned his mental health, and even implied he was unfit to lead.
He took little X.
Funny. A little Instagram.
He doesn't know on Instagram.
He doesn't know on Instagram. He just took little X.
I don't know what else to say, but it is. And I'm just looking at this video and it's so bizarre.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
And this all happened in front of millions of viewers. But Elon? He didn't laugh it off. Not even close. Sources say he fired back with a $900 million defamation lawsuit, aimed squarely at Whoopi herself, and he came prepared. Reportedly, he brought emails, receipts, and possible media links suggesting Whoopi had ties to private groups allegedly working to destroy his reputation. This wasn't just petty drama. This was personal.
Everyone had something to say, but no one said, "Oh, well, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?"
Yeah.
Because it involves so many other things, and I think that it is a matter of how we treat ourselves.
But I get people think things are funny because they don't think about the person they're making fun of. You and I are both guilty of doing that. Of course.
And that was just the beginning. Next up, Carrie Underwood, America's country sweetheart. Think she'd back down? Think again. It all exploded after Whoopi casually suggested on air that Carrie was somehow mixed up in shady music industry deals. Like it was a known fact. No proof, no follow-up, just thrown out to millions of viewers like it was nothing. But behind the scenes? Carrie's legal team jumped into action faster than a stage light at the Grammys. And word is, she filed a multi-million-dollar defamation lawsuit of her own. According to insiders, the damage wasn't small. Millions in endorsements lost, partnerships scrapped, and a major global tour nearly derailed. Carrie's publicist reportedly said, "You don't mess with America's country queen." And based on what's happening, they weren't kidding. Carrie spent decades building her wholesome image. And in one moment, Whoopi's comments allegedly shattered it. Her legal documents claimed the remarks painted her as deceitful, unethical, and manipulative, destroying fan trust in seconds. And it didn't stop there. Once the Carrie and Elon cases hit the news, it was like the floodgates burst open. People who had been quietly simmering, they came forward fast. And that's when the Trumps pulled up. And things went nuclear.
Whoopi's a filthy, filthy mouth on her. I've hired Whoopi over the years, at hotels that I own. We hired her once, and I went. She was so filthy, disgusting, dirty with her mouth that the whole group left. There was nobody watching her. She said, "I admire you so much. Would you do me a favor, what? Would you do a cameo in a movie I'm making?" I did a cameo in some crummy movie she made, and then I run for politics.
Whoopi, over the years, had repeatedly tossed out every possible accusation about the Trump family. Everything from shady financial deals to criminal behavior. All on national television and without concrete evidence, just talking like she was holding court. And what did the Trump family do? They hit back, hard. Donald, Ivanka, and even Eric reportedly got involved in a massive joint lawsuit against The View, accusing the hosts of defamation, character assassination, and years of reputation damage. A source close to the family reportedly said they were tired of being used as punching bags for ratings. And now they're bringing the heat. They claim The View crossed the line so many times, it's no longer opinion. It's a planned smear campaign. But if you think that's as wild as it gets, hang on. Because Joe Rogan was next. The king of podcasting jumped into the ring, and he came ready to burn it all down. Remember that bizarre segment about Hen House?
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies-infested hen.
The one involving weird bakery scandals and sketchy podcast sponsors. Whoopi aired it like it was cold, hard truth. But Rogan? He says the entire thing was made up.
This is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, "We are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons." So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement.
According to him, it was a total fabrication, and it aired during a week where his podcast had locked in one of its biggest sponsorships ever. A deal that allegedly vanished overnight. Rogan didn't just talk about it. He clapped back on his own podcast with receipts. Then he followed it up with a defamation lawsuit so intense it sent shockwaves through the media world. He accused Whoopi of targeting him on purpose, dragging his name through the mud, knowing what it would do to his business.
You're not really making the world a better place.
Right.
You're just allowing these financial institutions to enact control over corporations. And it's a really shifty, weird way they're doing it by making it seem like they're trying to make the world a better, more equal place.
But this wasn't just about Rogan, or Elon, or Carrie, or the Trumps anymore. This had become a domino effect. One public figure sued, then another. And then more followed, like wildfire. And that's just the beginning. Once the lawsuits started stacking up, it was like a legal avalanche crashing down on The View. Every new name that popped up dragged the show deeper into disaster. And suddenly,
live movie star and host of The View, Whoopi Goldberg, is suspended for 2 weeks after making remarks on the show.
Everyone from former producers to backroom assistants started scrambling. People inside the studio began whispering, leaking info, and desperately trying to save themselves before the entire show collapsed. What was once just controversial TV quickly turned into a full-scale legal war zone. Every hot take, every segment, every off-the-cuff remark. Lawyers are now watching them frame by frame like detectives solving a crime. Why? Because they smell blood in the water, and they're not holding back anymore. Even ABC, on the powerhouse network that backed The View for years, is in complete meltdown mode. At first, execs thought this would pass. quiet settlements, a few vague press releases, maybe some half-hearted apologies to smooth things over. But the lawsuits didn't stop. In fact, they just kept multiplying. Once the number crossed 10, insiders said panic hit the top floors like a wrecking ball. Reports started flying that legal costs were already climbing into the millions, and that's before any rulings, settlements, or trial dates even hit. The damage wasn't just reputational anymore. It was turning into a financial disaster that could take down more than just the show. ABC started holding emergency meetings daily. Lawyers were flown in from New York and Los Angeles. Crisis teams were assembled overnight. HR was overwhelmed. Internal investigations were launched into every single episode that ever featured questionable claims. The legal team couldn't keep up. Everyone was stretched thin and terrified. And the sponsors? Oh, they didn't wait around. Top-tier advertisers started quietly pulling their money, fast. At first, they tried to do it behind the scenes, hoping to avoid public backlash. But as the lawsuits got bigger, louder, and more public, those quiet exits turned into massive walkouts. Some of the brands that had partnered with The View for years, dropped them within hours of the Rogan lawsuit hitting headlines. By the time word got out that Carrie Underwood's legal team was going full steam ahead, at least 6 major advertisers had already cut ties completely. ABC was left scrambling to fill the ad slots with last-minute deals and budget brands, none of which came close to the show's usual ad revenue. This wasn't just bad optics, it was a financial sinkhole. Behind the scenes, the mood was crumbling. Staffers didn't know what would happen next. Some allegedly started leaking internal emails to protect themselves. Others, they just quit outright. What used to be one of the most powerful stages in daytime television now looked like a sinking ship, and nobody wanted to be the last one left on board. And here's the part that hit hardest. This storm wasn't over. It was getting worse. More lawsuits were already being whispered about. More names were being mentioned. And the internal pressure at ABC explosive. There were too many secrets, too many risks, and nowhere left to hide. The legal department was drowning in paperwork. Every day brought more court documents, more media leaks, more questions from angry sponsors, and more worried execs demanding answers. This wasn't just a bad PR week. This was history in the making. A full-scale collapse, and everyone knew it. By the time these lawsuits became public knowledge, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Big sponsors fled. Multi-year deals were canceled overnight. Global brands that once proudly stood next to The View started deleting tweets, pulling commercials, and acting like the partnership never existed. And if that wasn't enough, the audience turned on them too. Social media exploded with outrage. Hashtags calling for the show's cancellation trended for days. People were demanding accountability, legal consequences, even criminal investigations in some circles. Public trust? Completely shattered. The loyal viewers that once tuned in every morning? Gone. Just like that. With no sponsors, no public support, and a mountain of lawsuits threatening to bury them, ABC had no choice left. They made the call, and it was huge. The View was suspended indefinitely. No new episodes, no more tapings. The studio went dark. The crew was told to go home with zero warning. No dramatic farewell. No on-air goodbye. Just silence. One ABC insider reportedly put it bluntly. It's not just the lawsuits, it's the damage to our brand. The View used to be bold. Now it's a liability. That one sentence said it all. But it gets worse. Sources now claim that Whoopi Goldberg is dangerously close to being fired outright. Her massive contract, which once seemed untouchable, is suddenly under serious review. Behind closed doors, network executives are allegedly discussing replacements, debating whether the show could ever come back at all, and if it does, whether Whoopi can be part of it. Insiders say the legal baggage she's carrying makes her too risky to keep around. Some say more allegations could still be coming, and ABC is desperate to avoid more damage. Joy Behar isn't waiting around either. She's already lawyered up fast, and insiders say she's in a complete state of panic. They're saying she's genuinely scared this situation could financially destroy her. Her name has been attached to multiple lawsuits, and each one comes with its own high-risk price tag. And then there's Sunny Hostin. She's been completely silent. No tweets, no interviews, no statements at all. And you know what? That silence is loud. People close to the situation believe it's strategic. Insiders say she's keeping her mouth shut on purpose, while her legal team tries to keep things from getting worse. But her name is on the lawsuit list too. And being quiet won't make it go away. The View, once considered daytime royalty, is now the cautionary tale no network wants to be part of. The entire future of the show is officially up in the air. And now, just when it felt like things might settle, another shockwave hits. The executive producer of The View just stepped down. No warning, no press release, just gone. Walked away from the mess, leaving everyone behind. And you know what that usually means? When the producer jumps ship, it's a sign the whole thing is going down. Inside ABC, the atmosphere is pure crisis mode. The legal department is working overtime. Risk managers are scrambling to patch leaks. Financial analysts are warning about long-term brand damage. But let's be real. At this point, there might be nothing left to save. So what now? What comes next? Some whispers say ABC is considering a full reboot, a total rebrand. New hosts, a softer, safer format. Less controversy. No politics. No unfiltered opinions. Just something that won't get them sued. But would anyone even watch that? The only reason The View ever made headlines, ever got ratings, was because it pushed the envelope. It didn't play it safe, it stirred the pot. But now, that edge has cut too deep, and it might have destroyed everything in the process. The lawsuits, the firings, the chaos, it's already too late to undo the damage. And if you think this is the end of it, think again. Just when you thought it couldn't spiral any further, it did. Hard. Behind the scenes, ABC is hanging on by a thread. The legal fees, skyrocketing. The ad revenue, practically vanished. And the public? They've already made up their minds. The View isn't just under fire anymore. It's a full-blown media catastrophe. More lawsuits are still being whispered about. More public figures are said to be quietly building cases. And even some former guest co-hosts are allegedly reaching out to lawyers. What started as a storm has become a reckoning, and no one at the table is safe anymore. Sources claim ABC is now considering an emergency shutdown, not just of The View, but of any show or spin-off tied to its name. Why? Because the brand is officially toxic. Network execs are terrified that even touching the franchise might burn them. Whoopi Goldberg, once untouchable, is reportedly facing termination within weeks. ABC's internal memos allegedly say her name brings too much liability to move forward. And Joy Behar? She's said to be exploring early retirement, not by choice, but by pressure. Even Sunny Hostin, the one who tried to stay quiet and low-key, is now in headlines. Her name's been attached to multiple lawsuits, and PR insiders say her silence is no longer helping. It's hurting. The court of public opinion has already convicted all three, and the legal court may not be far behind. Now here's where it turns dark and dangerous. One anonymous ABC staffer reportedly said this: "They thought they were untouchable. They forgot what happens when too many people get hurt. This wasn't backlash. This was karma. And guess what? It's not over. There are rumors, unconfirmed but loud, that one of the lawsuits involves classified leaks, involving off-air comments caught on hot mics. If true, this could shift from civil court to federal investigation. The kind that doesn't just cancel shows, the kind that ruins careers. ABC is on its knees. The View is off the air. The stars are lawyering up, and the world is watching, wondering, is this justice or a takedown? Either way, the empire is falling, and it may never rise again. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, so hit that like button, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and please make sure to check out these other videos you might like. See you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.